Joining us now to discuss the upcoming parliamentary elections to the European Union is Michał Wawrykiewicz, attorney at law and co-founder of the Free Courts Initiative, as well as a candidate to the European Parliament. Welcome to TVP World.
Hello.
So now I'd like to start out by asking, what is at stake in these upcoming elections to the European Parliament?
Well, I think that we are in a very crucial moment of the history of integration, European integration. After more than 70 years from the declaration of Schuman, we are on the crossroads, and these elections are about the future of Europe. Are we going to continue the process of integration? Are we going to have a common Europe which is safe and wealth, and or we are going towards the east and we are going towards disintegration of Europe, divide on separate countries which are fighting against each other. We have to remember what was the beginning of integration of the European Union. That was the idea to stop violation, to stop fight against each countries in Europe, and to provide peace in Europe. And that was a successful story for 7 years. So right now we are going to choose if we are supporting next years, decades of integration, or we are going towards populism. And we have to admit that within the last years, we have discovered and experienced a huge expansion of a populism, of a nationalism. Nationalists and populists from all over the world just met in Budapest, and they are declaring openly that they do not want the European Union as it is today. They don't want to disintegrate the European Union. They want to build national countries which are not cooperating with each other on the basis of the European Union.
So now this brings me to my next question, because we have seen data coming out and polls that are being conducted before these upcoming elections. For example, also in Italy, we've seen that it looks like parties from the right have very big chances of gaining more seats in this new European Parliament. And if that does happen, if the makeup changes in the European Parliament, what projects or maybe what ideas might be at stake starting with this next term?
This problem is definitely at stake. So we'll probably face a huge advantage, not advantage in the parliament, but a bigger group of populists and nationalists, right-wing in the parliament. So I think we need a strong team of Democrats, Euro enthusiasts in the parliament to be able to fight against this populism, to be able to convince citizens in Europe that the process of integration is our interest, our common interest, because only strong Europe, common Europe, can be a competitor to the world and can provide a safety net for us against Russia, against this huge military threat. Not only military threat, also cyber attacks, violations of free elections in Europe. That is also at stake. So we need, as I said, we need a strong, strong team of Democrats and Euro enthusiasts in Parliament, which are well prepared to negotiate, to debate with populists.
And what about, because you also mentioned the necessity of Europe being united to, for example, threats like that coming from imperial Russia, what about, for example, countries like Belarus, which many say are also key and very important, and that it's necessary for them to, of course, become democratic and then with time join the EU? Do you think, is the EU doing enough when it comes to, for example, supporting countries like Belarus in its fight for democracy?
Well, this is very difficult issue because the European Union does not have enough instruments, tools to support Democrats, a very small group of Democrats in Belarus. But of course, it is at stake also. It is our obligation, I think, as Europeans, to support Democrats everywhere, especially in autocratic countries. Right now, we have autocratic countries also inside the European Union. Look at what is going on in Hungary. After 14 years, we have a very strong autocratic system in Hungary, but there are chances that the liberation of Hungary will be able to be done within next maybe couple of years. So we need to constantly support Democrats everywhere, also in Belarus. But right now, I think the main goal when it comes to enlargement of the European Union is Ukraine.
Why is it necessary to have Ukraine join the EU and possibly join as soon as possible?
Well, Ukraine is on the border with Imperial Russia. Ukraine right now, at this stage, is fighting for the democracy also in the whole European Union. And I think our goal, members of the Parliament, of the European Parliament in the next term, is to convince Western Europe that have a different perspective of a potential conflict, a military conflict in Russia, to convince them that it is also their conflict potentially, that potential war with Russia is not only the interest of Poland or Baltics, it is also interest of Western countries, and this is a very serious threat for the whole European Union and for the whole process of integration.
And with that message, we'll end it right there. Mr. Michał Wawrykiewicz, attorney at law and co-founder of the Free Courts Initiative and candidate to the European Parliament in the upcoming elections. Thank you very much for speaking to us here on TVP.
Thank you for having me.